Warm greetings from Geneva, Switzerland. This is Reda Sadki from the Geneva Learning Foundation. I'm here with Charlotte Mbu, and we are, as you can see, 1 minute 40 seconds away from kicking off the 6th assembly of the Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030. Looking forward to this, and we have a packed agenda for today. You'll be hearing the voices of the movement, members of the movement who've been working on their situation analysis in order to better understand one of the many challenges that they face in order to improve their program's immunization performance. So we'll be presenting this, giving you the update, and also explaining to you what is next as we go into the next phase of the Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030 that will kick off on the 2nd of May 2022. See you soon in 47 seconds. We're 25 seconds away from kicking off the 6th assembly of the Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030. See you in 15. Here we go. Here is Charlotte Mbu. Charlotte, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here for our 6th assembly of the Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030.
This is indeed the 6th time that we are gathering as a Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030. Once again, this week we mark a pause to wish a happy Easter to all those who celebrate, as well as a happy Ramadan to all those who are entering, no longer starting, but entering the 2nd week of fasting. Now, before we go any further, we want to share a moment of solidarity with colleagues in Madagascar. You can see here this testimonial from a member of the movement who says, I am in an area where 2 cyclones have done huge damage, and so the connectivity is very bad. It is only on weekends that I go out of the area to have a good connection. I would like to note 2 things. One is to affirm our solidarity and others. And second, that this member of the movement is not letting a cyclone discourage her from making progress with their situation analysis. So that is quite commendable in terms of going above and beyond. And now here we want to give really a tribute to Gordon Yibe from Ghana. Works in the health facility, and when he joined the movement, he told us, my challenge is the lack of involvement of men in immunization activities. I want to ensure their involvement in routine immunization for coverage to improve. Now we're talking about Ghana, so from 86%, which compared to other places might be considered very high, but Gordon and his colleagues want to take it to the finish line with 95% coverage. Charlotte, could you read starting from the second sentence?
The foundation has set a new pace for some of us, making us realize how important our work is in making a global impact. We do our best to reach all mothers and children in the difficult places to reach with the very little resources and all possible innovative measures. Joining the movement has inspired me and made me accept and tackle new challenges. Now I prepare myself each day ready for a new adventure on the field. Thank you.
Now, before we go any further and go into the program for today's assembly, some of you have received an invitation to come share your experience on reaching zero-dose children and communities. This is if you mention this specifically in your application to join the movement. So check your inbox, search for the word zero dose, and you'll find an email invitation from me for a special session that will be taking place on Thursday, 14th of April. So this is the time of the experience sharing, but there will be a very specific focus with TGLF's lead researcher. So that's the Geneva Geneva Learning Foundation's researcher Ian Jones, and of course with Charlotte Mbou and François Gass, who facilitate these experience sharing sessions. But this will be a very specific focus. So if you have zero dose experience, or if you want to share your experience in reaching the unreached, then you look for this email. The invitation, of course, for the session is open. So even if you did not receive the email, you can still join. Now, what are we talking about? This is the Movement for Immunization Agenda 2030. As of today, we are 44,064 members of the movement being reached through the platform of the Geneva Learning Foundation. This is not only about the connections between you and us. This is about the connections that we hope you are making with each other. This is the full learning cycle. It is the first one run by the Geneva Learning Foundation to contribute to the goals of Immunization Agenda 2030 around the challenges that you face. You can see some of the most common, prevalent challenges here. This is about a continuum of action from knowledge all the way to impact. Now, before today we are kicking off week 4 of situation analysis. So most of the session we are going to spend on situation analysis, hearing from participants, and there are hundreds who have worked together on situation analysis. But I'm first going to tell you with Charlotte what's going to happen after situation analysis, which will be wrapping up on Friday. So first of all, from the 16th of April to the 1st of May, we are marking a pause with movement activities. Your daily work, of course, will continue. And as we say, when you do your daily work of immunization, you are contributing to the movement. But there will be no weekly assembly on the 2 successive Mondays, and then there will be no experience sharing or technical support sessions. The ideas engine remains open, so you can continue to share and just nourish yourself with the ideas and practices that have been shared from all over the world. And then we know that some members are organizing a field visit during this period because they want to further improve their situation analyses. So if you are going to do that during this 2-week period, or you've done it before or after, we'll open up a questionnaire so you can tell us what you learned from your field visits. So that is, first of all, to note on your calendar. We've been going nonstop for 6 weeks. We're taking a 2-week pause as you continue to do the critical work that you do for immunization. During this period, this is the ideal time to invite colleagues to join you in the movement, because the second exercise in the full learning cycle will be starting on Monday, the 2nd of May, but that will be very different from the first. And so we received this message: I'm just joining today for the first time and I joined late. How do I start my analysis? So the answer is that it is too late to contribute to situation analysis. Hundreds, over 600 participants of the movement are nearly finished with situation analysis. But the good news is that on the 2nd of May, you will be able to join this first global event for World Immunization Week. And this is where we'll celebrate the first achievements of the IA 2030 movement, having connected thousands of immunization practitioners from all over the world. Now, connecting to each other does not change vaccination coverage. That is true. Nevertheless, we believe that there is great potential, and it is in the coming weeks that we will see if these connections that you are making, these new ways of thinking and doing that you are practicing through the movement, can actually make the difference that is needed at the end of the line. And we need you to tell us as you progress how we can do better together in order to reach that goal. Now, after the 2nd of May for this global event, we'll have the first IA 2030 Action Plan Hackathon. I'm going to turn to Charlotte for her to explain what is a IA 2030 Action Plan Hackathon. What is going to happen, Charlotte, and how is it different from the 4-week situation analysis exercise that hundreds of participants are completing this week?
Okay, thank you very much, Reda. So the IA 2030 Action Plan Hackathon is really about you coming with your specific challenge and together with peers trying to dig into it, problem solve, and come up with concrete action over a period of a couple of days. concrete action steps that you are going to implement to solve that challenge. So it's not like the 4-week exercise that we are ending with the situation analysis, because hundreds of you are going to be broken down into specific working groups, into little groups where you can work on each other's challenge together to solve it, suggesting concrete actions. As I said, not prescriptive, of course, because you remember our each methodology is not about prescribing, but about sharing your experience of what you have done to overcome that challenge and helping peers. But it's also obviously going to end with the development of concrete action plans that are going to be peer-reviewed and implemented within your context to solve that challenge. Thank you, Reda.
Thanks, Charlotte. What I would say is this action plan hackathon from the 9th to the 20th of May is for everyone. Now, many of you found it quite challenging to follow the situation analysis exercise. It's a 4-week intensive exercise that involves a lot of different steps. The action plan hackathon is for everyone. And this is really the occasion to come together, problem solve challenges, map out the actions you need to take to make progress. And it is key because in order to qualify for the next stage of the IA 2030 movement, if you have not done situation analysis, you need to participate in the action plan hackathon first. And then that will give you an action plan focused on the challenge that you are facing. And we will then ask you the question, are you ready to take action? And from the 23rd of May through the 17th of June, that is when we will be coming together, this time focused not on the thinking and analysis so much as the actual doing and the thinking and analysis we need to do on our feet as we implement, as we execute action plans. I want to turn now to François Gass, who's been together with Charlotte and Boo, leading these sessions of experience sharing twice a week throughout the situation analysis exercise. François, I hope you're able to speak to us. Why is the Impact Accelerator, this focus on execution, actually implementing the plan that participants will each develop? Why does that matter? Why is that important?
Hello, Reda, hello, Charlotte, and hello to everyone today present. I'm happy to be there. I think, my first reaction that let's look backward. You all face many challenges to reach the goals set by your government in every district or every region or nationwide or at the health facility level. Now, when you look and you make a situation analysis, you identify a list of challenges you have to address and overwhelm in order to make progress towards set goals that have been set by you or by your supervisor or by the government at national level. Now, when you face many challenges and you have decided, and those challenges usually are part of the plan at your level of responsibility. You have decided that your main challenge is one of those ones, and you have being specific about, I hope, the challenge by assessing the weight of the challenge, how many maybe children are involved, are part of that challenge, or women or pregnant women, or hard to reach area, and you want to address the issue. So when you have the challenge, you have gone into why do I have this challenge, and you have identified some critical list of causes, and you have even prioritized the cause that explain your challenge. And if you go to the root cause, you have identified the main root cause on which you have to work out. And of course, you have used the idea engine, or you have used your own ideas, your colleague at country level, and you decided to focus on that challenge and the cause of that challenge. And when the root cause analysis is well done, you have an idea on what you want to do concretely. Could be 3, 4 actions. It's up to you. It's your own situation. You are the owners of that situation and the cause. And you look for ideas that will address the challenge. And of course, ideas are no point if you don't execute them. What a point to have an idea if there's no execution? And sometimes it's easier to have ideas than execute them for many reasons at country level in your environment. So it's very important to have, and I think when you say develop an action plan, you all have action plans at your level, but it's an action plan to address the priority challenge you have identified, while you, of course, address your other responsibilities, your other challenge, and the other actions that you may have been listing in your plan in your area. So it's very critical, and I hope that the challenge and the idea you have chosen are going to make a difference that we're going to measure if you implement the ideas you have chosen. Over to you, Reda.
Thank you, Francois. And so the sequence is 2nd of May. So first of all, starting on the 16th of April, no General Assembly, no daily sessions. Ideas Engine is open. Second, this is a period when you can invite people to join or rejoin if they've been away, they weren't able to follow situation analysis. That is fine. They're still members of the movement or can become members, because on the 2nd of May, everyone will be coming together for this global event. Then we go into the Action Plan Hackathon. And after that, we'll come to the Impact Accelerator with this focus, as Francois explained, on action. So that is what is coming next. But now we need to first wrap up situation analysis this week. And this week, we're going to spend the rest of the session now focusing on what you gain first from peer review, and then really digging in, deep diving into what you need to do this week. There is one very important thing that you need to do in order to complete your situation analysis, to be eligible for certification, and to be able to use your analysis for the next stage of the movement. So first of all, you know that last week was all about peer review. We'll be giving the results in less than a minute. But first, you also know that each week we ask you, how are you doing? And not everybody needs to answer. If you're still doing the same way you were doing the previous week, you can skip these questions. But if something has changed, something is new, then we definitely would like you to answer, and you can see the progression over time. Basically, this is our barometer, taking the temperature, but taking the atmosphere of the movement. And it is looking good. Charlotte, over to you.
Peer review of my colleagues' work makes me improve my ability to analyze and give constructive suggestions. Reading the abstract from peer review was an eye-opener. I will integrate some of the best practices to improve immunization services in my country. Peer review has added more skills for my day-to-day practice. Listening to the experiences shared by some peer reviewers and the moderator, I have learned that feedback from peer reviewers should be clear and easy to understand by the author.
So we ask you these questions. How is participation in this movement affecting your social connections, changing you as a professional, changing your ability to influence your world as a professional, helping your professional practice, and helping you see the world differently? And what we can see is since March the 7th, all of these indicators of the strengths, the health of the movement keep going up. So this is where we want to turn to you to take the pulse of the movement. I see I think we'll need to lower all of the hands that are currently up. I want to especially encourage you to raise your hand now if you have never spoken before in the assembly or in an event like this one. And especially if you are from a country that we have not yet heard from. Of course, if you've spoken before and you're from a country we've heard from many times, that is fine too. Charlotte, over to you to help choose the speakers. So the questions are, what has the movement changed for you? Let's see, what have you learned from peer review? Have you read and reacted to peers' comments you received in peer grade? How are you organizing your time to revise your situation analysis by Friday? And have you talked to your colleagues about joining the movement on 2nd of May? And of course, if you have, what did they say? Charlotte, over to you. Who are we going to be hearing from?
Okay, Reda, we have Gold David Suberu, who had a hand raised. So Gold David, I'm asking you to unmute. If not, we'll turn towards Melese Teferi, who also raised his hand.
Okay. Thank you, Rada and Charlotte, to give me the chance to just to speak about what I already learned from this preview or this moment. Yeah, I just learned a lot. There are a lot of problems in different settings in different countries. So problems also somewhat similar in different countries also. For example, problems in our country, Ethiopia, especially in the COVID period, is more similar with other countries, and the way that other countries can just manage these problems is what I exactly learned from these peer review activities. I read a lot comments, and I read the idea engines from different scholars, and I learned a lot that there are different ways of mitigating these problems and improve the immunization activities in different settings and situations. I'm also share my comment that contextualized routine immunization planning is very important, for example, for our country, and also this strategy may also work for others. So just there is a similarity in problems, and there is also different problems in different situations. So contextualized and stratified strategy is very important for countries as well as situations in different within a country even. I try to just organize my time to have or to attend or to contribute for this moment, but due to some overlapping responsibilities, due to some responsibilities that's given my organization, somewhat make me to just still lagging back. But I try to just address even what I am not just delivered. Yeah, I talk for my colleagues, and my colleagues even there are my colleagues that joining this moment and in contributing for their just they join the moment, and maybe they will contribute a lot for the immunization activities also in our setups. So I appreciate this moment that I learned a lot how we can manage problems in different situations, in different environments, and in different healthcare systems. So it's really great for me to join this moment and share my experience as well as learn it from different scholars that have different strong experiences. So this is really very important for me. Yeah, I learned a lot. Thank you for that, for doing that. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Melissa. Charlotte, back to you, who will be our next speaker. You can see the questions up on the screen. I'm going to, for those of you who are on your phones, I'm going to paste them in one more time in the chat.
Okay.
Charlotte, can I go on now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Charlotte, and good evening, all. I'm so happy about this movement. In fact, that's one of the happiest things I've been involved in since last month. The movement has helped me so much. The last of it is this situation analysis that just exercise that we just did. I learned so much from it. In fact, the situation analysis I've also applied it in another aspect of my activities, not just in immunization, to analyze situations and look at how to find solution to it, So it's been so helpful for me. And I'm so glad about it. It was actually stressful, honestly. When I started initially, it was like, maybe I should leave this. no, but somehow, because I like the movement and I actually want to follow on to the end, it has really helped me. So that was actually what encouraged me to go on. Charlotte, if you remember, about 2 or 3 times I sent a mail to you while I was doing the situation analysis. But towards the end, I really picked up, and I think it was good. And concerning my inviting some other colleagues, I have been inviting other colleagues. In fact, sharing with them what I have learned so far, how much the movement have helped me. They are so enthusiastic about it. They want to join. They're actually waiting for mere second so that they can come in. They are so expectant about it, and I'm glad about that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gold. I was smiling listening to you. And actually, I found your message dated 14th of March. So in week 2, we were kicking off week 2 of the movement. And you wrote to me, you said, Reda, you're so full of encouragement. Wow, you could encourage a dead horse. Yeah,
I remember.
I shared that with our team internally. And he said, well, we hope we can do something for we're not sure about the dead horses, but immunization staff who are full of commitment and who have that sense of purpose. I think we will do everything we can to support you and to encourage you. Thank you, Gold, once again for sharing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Charlotte, perhaps one more person. I see many hands raised. So.
Yeah, definitely. Whether there was Tombele, whom I asked to unmute. If not, we can take Halima Ibrahim Zuberu. So either of them, or there is also, okay, Tombele, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I just hope that you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, I have joined via my Android phone, and it is not really like a very, updated phone. But yes, I would like to take this opportunity to say that I have learned a lot from joining the movement. Actually, I am so surprised that most of us in this group are almost facing the same challenges. Yes, they differ according to their intensity from different countries. From the situation analysis, I actually thought, no, I was not going to cope. But then it took me a lot of listening, a lot of reviewing the videos on the YouTube and also on the Telegram. Then I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get it. And then time was now running out. So I had to be very quick to submit the situational analysis, of which really I was very happy once I have done that, because I thought, no, it's time to quit. I can't continue anymore. From peer review, it's then that I realized that, okay, this is how it is supposed to be done. And I'm so grateful for all the people that has tried their best and they put their best efforts into doing the situational analysis, and the peer review also, that I have learned a lot from. So the movement has actually become a part and parcel of me. Every little moment that I have, I just have to see, I just have to learn, I just have to understand it better. I'm hoping that at the end of this whole learning cycle, I will have a better view of how to tackle a situation and how actually to zoom into it and try to make a difference. Thank you so much. I hope I have answered all your questions.
Thank you very much indeed, Ntombele. And yes, we have that hope too. You will see that in the next stages, we're going to go from the thinking and analysis of your situation to actually taking action and supporting each other in doing so. So let's move forward now with situation analysis. I need to tell you it's not over yet. We will be asking you how you are doing once again, as we do each week. Again, if you're doing fine, you can skip it, but it's nice if you let us know that you're doing fine. Otherwise, we simply cannot know. Now, before I go any further, there is one little bit of unpleasantness, and it's especially unpleasant that we have to do this because in some cases we know that there are individuals who are facing truly challenging circumstances. So this is not by any means to embarrass or shame them, but it is to call on your sense of responsibility if you are one of the 59 members of the movement who are not able to honor their peer review duties. Now, you remain members of the movement, but being a member of the movement, solidarity is needed. And to the extent that you're able to, we really need you to follow through if you can at all. So here we're sharing the names of the individuals who have completed no peer reviews. 3 are required. So I encourage you, if you see your name, I see actually my name here. So you see, I am amongst those who did not honor their commitments. And I will do so. I will catch up. I will do my best to catch up after this. Then there are 5 individuals, and you can see their names here. Maybe easier to see who completed 1 of the 3 reviews. And let me just be clear about what that means. Even Penina Achieng Okech, who completed 2, and that's commendable. Perhaps Penina is facing difficult circumstances. We don't know. But Penina is very busy. But what this means is that there is 1 colleague who has not yet received her peer review. And what that means is that they may not be able to finish the exercise. It's going to be difficult for them to actually finish the exercise without that input from the peer reviews of colleagues. That is really what it's about. So now that we've gotten through this, and so I urge you, if your name is on this list, please take it to the finish line. Do the best that you can with peer review. Now, the good news is we have over 300 Anglophone scholars who completed all 3 peer reviews, many of them in challenging circumstances as well. So 84% of the 368 scholars who submitted situation analysis did uphold the commitment and did express the solidarity in a very concrete way. You can see the 309 scholars' names here. Of course, there are 4 slides, so I'm going to zip through them, but we'll be sharing the slide deck as usual. 309 scholars who, on top of doing their daily work, put work not only to do their own situation analysis, but also to help others improve their situation analysis. We believe that is truly worth celebrating. And for Yesunesh Teshome, who only got 2 reviews, well, that means that 1 of the 53 individuals who did not honor their commitments did not do it for you. And so if you've watched the tutorial, the advice that I share in this morning's tutorial is really to say, work with what you've got. So some people may only have 1, and this can feel really unfair. Imagine if you've done your work, you've done your 3 reviews, and then on Saturday morning you went to discover what did people say to help me improve my situation analysis, and you find in some cases there may be 1 or 2 people who've received 0 reviews, and that can be a terrible feeling that there's a failure of solidarity. But for Joseph and Gugi, who received 2 reviews, well, my hope is that of the 59 people who did not honor their commitment, some of them, including the ones who were entrusted with your work, will be able to follow through. Now, remember that there are short sessions twice a week to share experience and problem solve challenges. And during these sessions, the focus with François Gass and Charlotte Mbou will be on this single purpose and single goal. You'll be sharing experience in those sessions, everything you should focus on this week with the time that you have for this movement. If you've participated in situation analysis, you finished your peer reviews, is actually to take your situation analysis and use everything that you gained to actually make it a better situation analysis. So take what you started with, that you submitted 2 weeks ago, and make it better. That is your goal this week. And Wednesday, you'll receive a link, if you did a situation analysis, of course, to submit your final version. So please do not submit the same thing. We all have improvements that we can make. That is your goal this week. And please be realistic about the changes, the level of improvement that you'll be able to make this week. This is the one deadline that is required for certification. There will be no extension. You do want to make sure that whatever changes you feel you can make to improve your situation analysis, you can actually finish them by Friday. And again, we remind you every time, this is not an academic or theoretical exercise. You will see that in the next stage, starting on the 2nd of May, you'll be looking at how to use your situation analysis to better plan for the actions you will carry out to tackle your challenge. And then now there are 3 concrete steps to revise and improve your situation analysis. You will be asked to submit the situation analysis, so the final version of your Word document. And when you do that, that will come with a short questionnaire. I'm going to share some of the questions now that you'll be asked, so you can start thinking about them, and we'll also share them by email. And then I'm going to show you the 3 steps to revise and finish your situation analysis. So these are questions you already know the answers to, most, if not all of these. So you can see here, we'll be asking you, so in a questionnaire, you may have included this information in your Word document, but we need the categorical data in a questionnaire format. So this is why we ask you some of these to basically, you should be able to copy and paste from your situation analysis. So what is the challenge? What is the question that you sought to answer? But here you can be more summative. So you can really summarize, what is the key finding of your situation analysis? What is it that you did not know before? And now that you've carried out your situation analysis, you have a new insight, something new that you did not know before. And we also ask you to sort of reality check. So did you ask why at least 5 times before coming to a conclusion? And then there are additional questions which have to do with the sort of broader immunization context. I'm going to turn to François Gasse to explain why is it that it is useful to know the antenatal care coverage, the size of the population, the Penta 3 and Penta 1 that we're going to be adding coverage, measles coverage, and other sort of key indicators. Why are they key? Why are we going to be asking for this information, François?
Thank you, Reda, and hello to everyone present today. I think, the feeling is that if you want to address a problem, you need some baseline data. Those data, many of those data are readily available in your information system called the DHS2 in your country. At every level, administrative level, there is this system of information that usually give you those indicators. To do better, or even to analyze, to back up, to show evidence for the challenge you have selected among the many challenges that you have, some indicators will show you that you are addressing a real challenge in order to do better with your overall set goal. And so antenatal care is an important one because it's linked to vaccination of pregnant women, and the difference between your care coverage and the current TT2 plus coverage will tell you there's some missed opportunities that you may have decided this is my challenge. Second one, Penta, and I mentioned Penta 1, Penta 3 give you your overall performance. We just had heard that some people in Ghana at 85% coverage. So you're looking for another few percentage, but it's important to know if your coverage, your situation is like you're around 50 or 60 and you have a major issue, or you're looking for the remaining population that you missed. So those indicators are really your baseline data on which you can justify the challenge you choose, and it will be the way to monitor progress. Of course, measles, we have heard that outbreak of measles are occurring in many parts of Africa and in the world. And now your issue is to find out the cause. And having the baseline coverage data for measles will tell you how many children are never immunized in your area, or how many children have been immunized, but 15% are not protected. And if you use the second dose, you again will see how low is your second dose. Is it a dropout? So those indicators are your baseline indicator. And it could be the same for COVID 1 dose or second dose. Those indicators can justify and back up the challenge and will at the same time help you to see the corrective measure you will decide in the next step and you will implement based on ideas you have read from the idea engine or your own ideas with your team make a difference. This is extremely important. Those baseline data are the way, if EPI today is how far it is today, it's thanks to these indicators that are reported routinely and sometimes confirmed by coverage survey. Those process indicators are critical to measure and monitor your progress over time. Thank you, Reda, over to you.
Thank you very much, Francois. And just to be clear, we did not originally plan to ask you all these additional questions. We realized there's already quite a heavy load, but in the discussion with Francois, we realized actually this will help you and this will help everyone to have this information as part of your situation analysis as you move into action planning. So we know it's more questions, another question there. Bear with us. We believe this will actually contribute to improving your own understanding and also helping explain how important the significance of the work that you are doing. Now, I told you there are 3 practical steps. So step 1 is to actually read the comments you received in PeerGrade. So I have a tutorial. I've just shared the link. I'm just going to share it again that you can watch, as well as the link to the actual learning dashboard. So this will show you step by step how you receive peer feedback. Some of you couldn't figure out where is the feedback, where are the comments from my reviewers. Some of you even thought that you didn't get any and then you found it once you watched the tutorial. So please take the time to do that. Second, well, you can go back to the rubric, but remember that this exercise is about helping you with what you're going to do next, which is to take action to take on your challenge. So do refer to the rubric, but really what matters the most is not the rubric, is really look at your work and say, is this going to help me? Can this actually help me figure out what actions to take? If it is, then that is a successful situation analysis. And then 3 is that there are resources we've shared with you. So there's a step-by-step guidance to write a situation analysis. You can actually go back to that now and use that same guidance as you figure out what improvements you want to make. If there are 3 additional sort of tips and tools that we've put together with the IA 2030 working groups, 1 on 0 dose. So if you're working on 0 dose, if your situation analysis was focused on 0 dose or under immunized populations, definitely review this if you did not see it or use it the first time. The same if you're looking at demand and community engagement for vaccination. And then if you're looking at COVID-19 vaccination, you're going to want to read this short. This is like 2 pages. And it was put together by the Immunization Agenda 2030 working group experts together with a team from the Geneva Learning Foundation. So should be well worth your time and effort in order to work on this. Now, I'm missing, let me see, I'm looking for the questions that are about the situation analysis itself. I don't see it, so I'm going to ask, let me just see, there's only the pulse of the movement. It seems like we have a missing slide from this deck, so I'm going to go and quickly translate it, while Charlotte is going to ask you to speak about your experience of situation analysis. Charlotte?
Okay, Reda, with much pleasure. So I'm just going to lower all hands that are raised, and I'll invite you right now to raise your hand if you want to tell us what has been your experience of situation analysis, first of all, the movement, and then the exercise, what you learned from peer review, and how have you planned your time to work on the revision of your situation analysis during this week. So please raise your hand if you want to share your thoughts with us, especially if you have not spoken in any of our general assemblies before, or if you are from a country where no one has had to intervene in the past. Okay, I see Yahoo Hafsat, your hand is raised. Yahoo, I'm inviting you to unmute yourself. Yahoo, okay, we have Yahoo Hafsat, we have Clement Mukadi. Please go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to speak.
Yes, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Clement Mukadi. I'm actually following the session from Botswana. Let me appreciate thank you very much for this opportunity giving me to share my experience. Actually, this movement, as some of my colleagues said earlier on, to appear like I was not interested, but most of the time I was going on, I could feel that it was very interesting and very constructive. And I'm actually advocating, inviting some of my colleagues to join the movement, because I find it's not only for immunization, especially when it comes to situation analysis. So it's actually contributing not only for immunization, for any other preventive program or health program where you need to know how to analyze and come up with a solution. One of the experiences I found is that the solution to this analysis is not come from somewhere. They are going to come, the same person facing challenges, proposing the solution and to come out to get a successful achievement. This program movement, when analyzing the data for my colleague, I found, even though I had already submitted my analysis, I found there were some mistakes I did while analyzing from others. So while analyzing, I was like learning at the same time. When I did for the first colleague, I learned, I went back to my analysis. I could have done, I've did a mistake here. If I knew, if I had that opportunity or option to go back and edit, I could do, but it was not possible. And when I did for the second, I found like there are many mistakes I did when analyzing. And Saturday, when I received the comment or the feedback from my colleague, actually I appreciated all the two of my colleague who actually give me the feedback. They really read my work, because they found what I was already anticipating before I got the feedback. They found what I was thinking. So actually, it really helped me to understand and achieve what is required in my analysis and come up with the positive solution. So what I'm planning to do for the next step before Wednesday, I've already done some of the correction there and there, and that I'm in the last stage. Maybe probably by tomorrow, I think I'll be completely finished my analysis, because I started working on the from Saturday when I received the feedback. I worked Saturday, I worked yesterday as I was busy, and today during the day I was still busy. So tonight, I think I'm going to focus on the remaining part and actually finish my work. And if possible by Wednesday, I will be among the first to submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Clement Mukadi. And Reda, from every indication, Clement actually maybe not answering the first part of the question, but the last two parts. So maybe I could just. Yes, Reda?
I do think, Charlotte, so let's hear our the next speaker. I do think it's important to understand, like, okay, so you did situation analysis, you seem to have found it useful, but what did you actually find that you did not know before? I have seen some situation analyses where someone describes the situation, and then in section 4 in their findings, they say, well, I found my situation. And of course, root cause analysis is supposed to help you get to something more than that. That's the point of doing situation analysis.
Yeah, so actually I was about to ask Clement that if he could summarize his situation analysis with us, because that's the only thing we're not able to hear, so that that way we can actually get to know what he learned that he did not know before. And we have many other raised hands. Okay, Clement, please, over to you.
Okay, starting from the first point when it comes to rank the cover notes. On that part, when I analyzed, I could not support my supervisor with the data, which actually I just went straight to give what I think would be actually answering my question or propose what is as a solution. But I could not support with the data to show, based on this, after my data analysis, I found 1, 2, 3. And for this, I'm proposing this, and this is the way I'm going to do it. Because I just give the data like a bullet. I could not say that, so it's right, I'm going to do a health promotion, but how do I going to do it? Who is going to do this and how is it going to happen? So after analyzing from other colleagues, I found I was supposed to give such details and such details when giving to the feedback or proposing the way out, the way forward to my supervisor. In one of the things again under source of data. So the source of data I gave, actually initially first analysis, I'm not clearly sure how their benefit or how are they important compared to others. I have not compared that or give the limitation to this data source. So this is one of the weakness. One during the first time my analysis, but after that I could see I was supposed to give the specific data source and support them and to identify to give the limitation or a disadvantage of the two. The last on the reference as well, I just focus only on the engine ideas. I could not take some of the reference from my own country, for myself, or from other organizations such as WHO or UNICEF to support my references. So I think in short, that's what I could say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, Clement Mukadi. Charlotte, who shall we hear from next? Indeed, many hands raised, and unfortunately only 11 minutes left, but this is only the beginning.
We have Felix whose mic is already unmuted, rather. So Felix, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and answer the questions?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Felix Adipare from Ghana. I'm a public health specialist, MPH. This is the health, Uma East District, Central Region, Ghana. My situation analysis is on the routine immunization, how to improve routine immunization in the Guma East District, Ghana. So I'm working in the area of zero dose and on immunized communities for the past 1 year. Now, according to the Ghana Statistical Service Population Census for 2021, our population increased from 169,000 to 216,000, and the one population increased from 679,000 to 12,000, double of the population that we're working with, which has also automatically reduced the coverage rate from almost about 98% to 60%. Now, the implication of this is that there's a lot of people in the catchment area that are immunized. Now, my challenge or my research question is, how do I improve routine immunization in Goma East District, looking at the current challenge of population in my group, the IEA movement? The sort of things that I was doing so far to avert this situation was desktop reviews, increasing the number of outreach sites, monitoring supervision, were some of the things I was doing. Now, though I've been doing this during these particular root cause analysis, I have learned new things that I feel that when I implement, I will be able to do that. One particular funny thing that happened was during my peer grade review. When I was reviewing somebody's work, I realized that this person had a very similar situation to mine, and but there was this particular strategy or intervention that he proposed that wasn't being considered by me anyway, which was to geotag the outreach sites to know exactly where they are located, so that we can plan on where most of the new.
Oh, it's the pity we lost him. It's a very interesting.
So that we can expand. And this was a very interesting finding that I noticed when I was doing the review of this particular person's work. So this is the feedback that I got from colleagues. So when I was now on how I can improve my situation analysis, I've learned new things. In fact, before I joined the group, I was mixed up. I was actually looking at my situation based on primary healthcare, how to improve primary healthcare. But then when I looked at the IEA strategies together, I realized that it was actually under coverage and equity. So I'm now better placed where my challenge is supposed to be. And so when I go to the idea engine, I know exactly where to go to identify where I'm supposed to work on. So these are the new things that I'm learning. And it looks to me as if on daily basis, I get to learn new things, either from the IIE assembly like today, or from reviewing other colleagues' work, or from listening to the technical group sessions. So I'll bring this my discussion to a close at the moment and listen to your views from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Charlotte, could we go to Chizoba, because she says that she got 2 feedbacks on her analysis, but one of them she found really discouraging. And Chizoba, first of all, I want to appreciate you takes courage to write that. I hope you will feel supported in this assembly to share with us what happened with your situation analysis and what the issue was. I also understand if you're not ready, I'm asking you to unmute, but that's okay if you're not ready. What I would say about that, and and the same, I saw a question earlier where you have reviewers telling you different things. This is your situation. It is your challenge. You own it. You know more about it than anyone else can, unless they're your close colleague working in the same place as you. And even then, so trust what you know. Think that the people who've given you feedback are just like you. They have also produced something. They're also receiving feedback, and maybe they won't like the feedback either, or maybe they'll find some of it discouraging. So I would not, Chizoba, I hope you will not let yourself be discouraged, and we fully support you. Do the best that you can to improve your situation analysis. Back to you, Charlotte, as it seems like Chizoba may not be ready to share with us, but it'd be great to have at least 1 or 2 more people. I'd like to ask you to be concise, to really speak to the 3 questions. Summarize, tell us, what did you learn that you didn't know before? How is that going to help you? Explain what you're going to do this week to improve your situation analysis, and then give an example of feedback that is actually helpful to you. Charlotte?
Yeah, so we already have Abdullah Jallo, whose mic is unmuted, rather. So over to you, Abdullah Jallo.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm Abdullah Jallo from the Gambia, here sharing my experience that I received from the peers, and then my situation analysis. I found out that the problem that we have in the Gambia, at my working place, is a missed opportunity, and then that was as a result of what we call screening in the Gambia. But I found out that one of my peers didn't understand what screening was. Then I had to explain in the from the feedback I received from that reviewer, that it is looking at the child's date of birth and then the last vaccine the person received to analyze whether the person is due for a particular vaccine or not. So these are about the issues that we have in the Gambia, or my own at my own facility level, whereby you find out that a child or a caregiver went to the RCH center and then was due for a vaccination, but due to one reason or another, due to the screening effect, then the person was told that you are not due for a particular vaccine. And then as time goes on, it becomes late the person to receive that particular vaccine. So this is one of the area that I had to improve on. And then another area was the IDES engine. The IDES engine, I could not use any, reference from it. I didn't know even how to go about it. But from the peers review, I have understood that how to go about it. And then for the improvement, I have learned that I have a particular problem in trying to explain my words, like as if I was talking to somebody who knows my problem. On the whole, that was not the case. So this is about the issues that I have faced, and then I learned to make sure that I improve this analysis based on all the feedbacks I received. So I appreciate all the feedbacks that then I know they gave me the good feedback that I supposed to have, because I did not understand the how to go about the situation analysis at the beginning. But I have now improved, and I'm still trying to work on that. In sharing this movement to colleagues, I am already on it, and then I have tried my level best, and still sharing to my colleagues on how to come. Since in the Gambia, I think it's around less than 10 people or even 5. In my region, we are 3 in number that are participating. Though I have not seen them very active, as I am also not very active. So I'm trying to encourage, go back to them and then see how best they can also go, and so that we can have a team in this in my country helping each other. So this is among the the analysis or the problems that I'm facing in the Gambia, though I'm still learning from colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. I see many more raised hands. Charlotte, we have 2 minutes left, and unfortunately, we need to bring this assembly to a close. But in fact, on the 2nd of May, we will be honoring those of you who have made it to the finish line with situation analysis. We'll also be welcoming the experiences. We'll be hearing from the experience of those who are just joining the movement, those who are not able to follow through all the way to the end of the situation analysis. We are together in this movement, whatever the specifics of the level of participation may be. Your one goal this week, for those of you who have done situation analysis, is to improve it. Improve what you submitted the first time around, and do it by Friday. There is no extension this time because we'll be going on hiatus until the 2nd of May. So do not miss this deadline. Your goal is to submit a better situation analysis that you did the first time. In addition, as we explained, we're adding a number of questions to the list. Wednesday, you will receive, for those of you who did a situation analysis and completed the peer reviews, you'll receive a link by email to submit your final situation analysis. We know we've been sending you a lot of emails. This is going to stop with the ending of this exercise. And the last email you will get from us this week in relation to the situation analysis, you do not want to miss, because it will contain the magic link you can use to submit. Now, remember, the point is to help you with your challenge, because in the next stages, we will be going into, after the hiatus, we'll be opening up again with a global event for World Immunization Week. Be going then into the action plan hackathon, which is something everyone can participate in. Situation analysis was quite complex. It's a 4-week exercise. We started with something difficult. We'll be calling on those of you who made it to the finish line of situation analysis. You are amongst the leaders, as are those who have attended every week. We have an amazing group of people who, despite the many challenges, have managed to attend. We have an amazing group of people who made contributions to the Ideas Engine. And then we have everyone else, and we need everyone to come together for the Action Plan Hackathon after the 2nd of May event. And then the Impact Accelerator. This is where we move from planning, thinking, analyzing to action, which we will do while continuing to think, analyze, and plan. That will kick off on the 23rd of May. And I do have one last request. There's almost 200 people still in the room, and that is we've been publishing every week a short summary of what is happening with the movement. Each week, we're honoring members of the movement. Last week, for last week's article, we honored Gordon Yibe from Ghana. We honored also scholars from Nigeria, from Botswana. We honored Becky Tagbo, professor of pediatrics, immunization expert, and chair of the WHO African Region Advisory Committee on Vaccine Safety, who is one of the many members of the movement. So I'd like to ask you, I'm going to paste in the link to this article, and I'd like to ask you before you leave this room to go to LinkedIn. If you're not familiar with LinkedIn, it's a professional network, and it's very simple to join. You can create your personal profile. It's like having a CV or a resume online. But here, what I want you to do is, or what I'd like to ask you is, if you believe in this movement, is to scroll down to the bottom once you've read the article. Here you can like, comment, or share. The most powerful thing you can do is to actually share this article with your colleagues, with your networks. Don't share with anybody or everybody. Share with people that you believe should be part of this movement and they're not yet part of the movement. That is what we're hoping for this session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Charlotte and François Gas. Wonderful to be with you this time. Remember, all this is leading up to the Impact Accelerator, where after having developed an action plan, we'll be asking you a very simple question. You developed an action plan, you did a situation analysis, you shared ideas and practices in the ideas engine. Are you ready for action? That is what we're leading up to, is actually going from ideas all the way to action, to the point where you'll be reporting that you've made significant progress against your challenge. Keep sharing. Thank you so much. I was smiling throughout this whole assembly. I hope that Charlotte was too, as we hear the level of motivation, the enthusiasm is really carrying this movement. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Francois. See you tomorrow for experience sharing, 5 p.m. Geneva time.
Goodbye, Charlotte and the rest.
Yes, indeed. While we still have 174 people in the room, let me remind you, experience sharing, if you need help to finish your situation analysis, to revise it, to improve it, starting tomorrow. And Charlotte, I hope you've shared the link for tomorrow's event. All right. For all those of you who are celebrating Easter, we're in the who've entered the second week of Ramadan. Warm wishes to you from the team at the foundation, and warm wishes to each other, I hope. Thank you very much indeed. I see a lot of thank yous, members thanking each other for your commitment, your enthusiasm, your participation. Take care, all of you. Still 120 people in the room. Joy Atawodi, who says, thanks to this great team. Awesome. That sounds great to us. This is indeed an awesome team of immunization professionals from all over the world. Thank you, Samuel Jansen Sule, Deborah Tembo, Tony Adeyemi, Samson Thuo, Martina Ezeama, Edward Mbonigaba, Zana Ali Haruna, Josefino Kide, Mariam Musa, Sylvester Maligemu, Emilia Asari, Mary Vanderpui, Bernard Boateng, Numan Ashraf, Mariama Idris. I hope you made it, Mariam, with your peer reviews, and that you're on your way to improving and finishing. The invitation, Yesunis, Doro Teshome, will come to your inbox in the next few days. We'll let you know when exactly that happens. And thank you, Mike and Suka. I've noticed your name coming up very often, very active, including on our social media. Again, that's much appreciated. If you have just a couple of minutes to go, if this is something that you do, so don't put yourself out to do it. But if you're on social media, this helps us a lot. Take care.